For the past few years, the old house on Willow Creek Road had been completely abandoned. No lights, no voices, no footsteps. At least, none that belonged to the living. The wooden fence had collapsed long ago, leaning like a ribcage around the dying grass. Paint peeled from the walls like dead skin. The windows, once clear, were now foggy, streaked with dirt, as if hands had dragged across them from the inside. Locals claimed the house was not empty, only uninhabited by humans. They whispered about the family who vanished without a trace, the Carter family, a married couple and their only daughter, Lily. One night they simply disappeared, leaving behind warm plates of food on the dining table. People swore that at the right hour, around 3:08 a.m., you could see silhouettes pacing behind the curtains, or hear a woman humming a lullaby upstairs. A lullaby for a child who was no longer there. And anyone brave or foolish enough to step onto the porch felt it. A breath on the back of the neck. Cold, slow, hungry. Something inside the house was waiting. And after so many years of silence, it would not stay patient much longer. The return of Emma Harris. Emma Harris hadn't planned to return to Willow Creek. Not after 19 years. Not after everything that happened to her family. But her mother's death forced her back. She sat in her rusted silver sedan, staring through the windshield at the familiar trees. Their branches reached across the road like long, bony fingers, almost touching, forming a tunnel that led deeper into the forgotten part of town. Emma gripped the steering wheel tighter. Her hands were trembling. She hated that she remembered this road. The last time she traveled down it, she was 11, crying, shaking, clutching her mother's hand as two police officers dragged her father out of their old house. He was yelling about voices in the walls, people who sensed something was wrong without knowing why. At the checkout, the old cashier squinted at her. "You're visiting?" he asked slowly. "My mother passed away," Emma said. "I'm here to handle her house." The man's fingers froze on the register. "She lived out by Willow Creek Road, didn't she?" Emma nodded. He leaned forward slightly, lowering his voice. "You be careful now. That road ain't the same anymore." Emma forced a polite smile. "Thank you." But the man grabbed her wrist. "No," he whispered, eyes wide. "I mean it." She pulled her hand back. His face fell, half fear, half sorrow. People don't stay out there long. They hear things, see things. He swallowed hard. And some don't come back. Emma walked out with her groceries. She wanted to laugh it off. Small town superstition, old stories, that was all. But the cashier's fear was real. And as Emma drove out of town, she sensed something watching from between the trail. Her mother's house stood at the far end of Willow Creek Road, a lonely structure surrounded by overgrown weeds and crooked trees. The moment Emma stepped out of her car, the air felt colder, still, too still. A silence so unnatural, it seemed to press against her ears. She walked up the path, her shoes crunching over brittle leaves. The porch groaned under her weight. She dangled the key in front of the lock, hesitating. Her hand wouldn't stop shaking. "Come on, Emma. It's just a house," she whispered to herself. She slid the key in, turned it. The door swung open on its own. A gust of cold air brushed past her like someone rushing out. She froze. Her heart thudded. The house was dark inside, yet somehow familiar. Her mother had lived here alone for years, but it looked unchanged. Smudged in dust, fresh. Her throat tightened. It was a child's hand. Small, delicate, impossible. She forced herself to turn away. She was tired. Her imagination was filling the shadows. She needed sleep. But the house didn't let her rest. That night, the noises started. Soft footsteps upstairs, a door creaking open, a faint humming, like a lullaby just out of tune. And once, just before dawn, a whisper outside her bedroom door. Emma. Chapter 4. The Girl in the Window. The next morning, Emma decided to explore the house in daylight, convincing herself she would find reasonable explanations. But daylight didn't help. Every room carried a heaviness, as if something had been disturbed. In her mother's bedroom, she found a diary. The pages were frantic, shaky, filled with drawings of a little girl with hollow eyes, standing in the hallway, at the foot of the bed, inside the mirror. Her mother had written the same sentence, Sev. She wants someone to play with. Emma shut the book, forcing her breathing to steady. It was grief, loneliness, isolation. Her mother had been sick. She needed to remember that. As she walked toward the living room, something caught her eye. Movement behind the window. She turned sharply. A little girl stood outside, thin, pale, dressed in a tattered white nightgown. Her hair hung over her face, but Emma could feel her eyes watching. The air dropped several degrees. Emma blinked. And the girl was gone. Not walked away, not ran, gone, like smoke. That night, Emma locked every door and window. She curled under her blanket, clutching her phone like a shield. Around 2:50 a.m., something woke her. Soft tapping on the window beside her bed. Tap, tap, tap. Emma turned her head slowly. The same little girl was standing outside, her face pressed against the glass, fogging it with each breath. A fingertip slid across the window, leaving a streak. She wrote one word. Play? Emma stumbled back, gasping, and the girl's mouth widened into an unnatural grin. She packed her suitcase, called a real estate agent from town, even booked a motel room online. But before she could walk out, the house made a sound she hadn't heard since childhood. The attic door opened, slowly, creaking, groaning. Emma froze on the staircase. The attic had always terrified her. Her father refused to go near it. Her mother locked it. Emma herself had nightmares about it. And now it stood open, as if inviting her in. A breath of icy air drifted down the stairs. Then came the voice. Not the girl's voice, a man's. Deep, broken, familiar. Emma, don't leave. Her father's voice. Her knees weakened. No, she whispered. You're not real. The air shifted. Something moved inside the attic, slowly dragging across the wooden floorboards. Thud, thud, thud. Footsteps approaching the doorway. Emma backed down the stairs, heart pounding, hands shaking uncontrollably. Then the attic door slammed shut. She... Emma fled to town, straight to the local library. She needed answers. She needed truth. The librarian, Mrs. Porter, a woman in her 60s with kind eyes, recognized her immediately. "You're Mary Harris's daughter." Emma nodded. "What happened to the family who lived in the house before us? The Carters?" Mrs. Porter hesitated. "Emma, some stories aren't meant to be dug up. I don't care, Emma snapped. Please! The librarian sighed and unlocked a file drawer. She handed Emma an old police report. Emma read it slowly. The Carter family didn't vanish. They didn't run away. They didn't move without notice. The father was found in the living room, eyes gouged out, body twisted. The mother was discovered upstairs, mouth open in a silent scream. And the daughter, Lily, age 7, her body was never recovered. Mrs. Porter closed the folder gently. People say her spirit never left, that she clings to that house, looking for company. What happened to my father? She whispered. Mrs. Porter looked away. He said he heard a child's voice in the walls. He tried to protect you. Emma felt the world tilt. Her father wasn't insane. He was terrified. And the house, the girl, they had followed her family too. The girl who wanted a friend. Emma returned to the house at dusk. She had to finish what her parents started. She had to free herself and her mother from this nightmare. The front door was already open, as if the house had been expecting her. The moment she stepped inside, the temperature plummeted. The lights flickered even though they hadn't worked in years. A soft humming drifted from the hallway, the same lullaby from her childhood nightmares. And then the girl appeared, right in front of her. This time Emma saw her face, skin pale as moonlight, eyes black and empty. A long stitched wound across her throat, as if someone tried to silence her. But her men. "Play with me," she whispered. Emma shook her head. "You're not Lily. Lily died." The girl twitched. Her head tilted unnaturally. "Lily never left." Then the shadows behind her began to move. Long arms stretching. Twisted bodies crawling through the walls. Faces without features turning toward Emma. The house wasn't haunted by one ghost. It was full of them, consumed by something older, darker, feeding on fear. Emma backed away, stumbling toward the stairs. But a small, cold hand grabbed her ankle. She looked down. The girl's face was inches from hers. "Stay with us!" The final confrontation. Emma dragged herself free and ran up the stairs, toward the attic, toward the place where it all began. The attic door swung open before she touched it. Inside, the room was filled with old toys, dolls with missing eyes, a rocking horse moving on its own, dust floating like ash, and in the center, a small bed with a child's S. "Lily!" Emma covered her mouth, tears streaming. The ghost girl appeared behind her. "I was waiting for someone to find me." Emma stepped forward slowly. "You don't have to stay here anymore, Lily. You're not alone." The girl's expression changed. For a brief second, she looked like a real child, confused, scared, longing for love. But then the room darkened. The shadows twisted violently. A monstrous voice rumbled through the walls. "She is mine." The house attacked. The floorboards split. Hands shot out of the cracks. The walls bled. The lights exploded. Emma grabbed Lily's skeletal remains, clutching them tightly. "Lily, listen to me. You can leave. You don't belong to the house." The girl screamed, a piercing, shuddering cry. The shadows shrieked in rage. Emma held the remains closer. "You are free." A blinding burst of light filled the attic. The shadows recoiled. The house groaned like a dying beast. And Lily. Thank you. Her form dissolved into soft, glowing light. And then, silence. Real silence. For the first time in decades. Epilogue. The house breathes one last time. The next morning, the house was quiet, empty, peaceful. Emma buried Lily beneath the old oak tree in the yard. Then she packed her bags, locked the door, and drove away, not looking back. But that night, a man walking his dog past Willow Creek Road swore he saw something in the top window of the old house. A silhouette, tall, thin, watching. Not Lily, something else. Something the light didn't touch. And as he passed, the attic window fogged over from inside. A message formed slowly. Still hungry.